on snap. Play action, boots out to his left, looking in the end zone, rifles it out there, diving down, was a catch made, looking for the signal. Touchdown, Colorado. Well, there's the second of 2 touchdowns for the Colorado Buffaloes. Jordan Tyson, by the way, he's got a kind of a knack for making big plays. That's his second career touchdown. Went from true freshman to true freshman there. Owen McCown to Jordan Tyson. We continue into Stampede. Following the Buffs' 45-17 loss to UCLA. Salary reporter Andy Lindahl joining us. You've been down the sideline much of the season this year, and Owen McCown brought a spark out there, didn't he?
He did. There was good pace when he got out there. There was a nice energy. And I liked some of his quick reads and quick decisions. Now, the problem is, and this is where, things start to break down, unfortunately, systematically for the Buffs, you got to keep him protected. He did start seeing some rushers that weren't there at one point, and he rushed some plays. Good, crisp decision-making to start, rushed a couple things at the end, but you can't blame the kid. There were a number of times where I watched from right behind the line of scrimmage as they were like the 20-yard line, and it was coming in quick, and Coach had said there was one particular play where there was a receiver, he missed the window, but I got to tell you, being behind that line, I can understand why he missed the window. Those guys are getting there pretty quickly.
Well, that's part of the growing process a little bit. You're a young quarterback. You start, instead of looking for the receiver, you start looking for the rush to see where it's coming from, instead of trusting the protection up in front of you. But the thing is, Andy, he looked like he belonged out there.
He looked like he belonged, and I thought it brought an energy, especially to the student section. And, I really want to give a shout-out to Buff fans that go to college here, the current student body, because they show up, they hang out, they bring positive energy to this thing. They did that today, and I thought Owen rewarded them for that. He made some really great throws. He had some really fun plays, and I think you can see, as you and I have been around football quite a while, you can tell when a guy is not bothered by it, and you could tell all afternoon he wasn't hyper about things. He didn't look nervous. He had a demonstrative body language I think you guys could see up in the booth. And so I'm excited to see what he can do as he develops.
Yep, sometimes all you have to do is prove that you belong there. And you've got kind of that natural sense of being out there. Now there's growth that comes from that, and ultimately you grow into a great player. And he certainly has the tools to eventually do that. But the Buffs still fall 45-17. Afterward, we heard from a few players.
I mean, obviously it's very difficult, but there's nothing you can do besides just keep pushing and keep working. What are you going to do, give up? You can't. So you got to keep going.
Definitely just got to try to stay competitive. That's the ultimate goal. You never want to lose. Nobody plays to lose, practices to lose. We put the same effort in every week. We just got to get stuff fixed. The headspace really really can't get no worse. You can only get better. So that's the positive you can take from it, but you really can't take too many positives from it because the end result the last couple of weeks. But probably just stay the course, keep stride. Something will happen. The plays we make in practice, we haven't been able to make in the game. We've created a lot of one-on-ones for us to execute, and we haven't executed them. So that's really it. Every play, somebody has to make a play. It's schemed up for the ball to go somewhere to somebody, whether that person makes a play or not, depending on what they do. And we haven't made those plays as a defense.
Overall, to me, it just seems like a lack of execution. We'll get it done in practice all week. We'll have a great week of practice. And then we'll go out on Saturday, and we just aren't executing like we should.
Well, there's a few of the Buff players after Colorado falls 45-17 to UCLA, sitting at 0-4 on the season, 0-1 in Pac-12 conference play, heading to Arizona as we continue with sideline reporter Andy Lindahl. One of the things that became a factor in this ballgame, a team without great depth anyway in Colorado. All of a sudden, the injuries were piling up on Saturday.
Yeah, Brady Russell tried to gut his way through what was clearly a painful ankle injury. He was unable to do that. And then Chase Sowell, the shoulder looked rough. I saw him after the game. I saw him during the game, arm in a sling, ice on the shoulder. Those are two guys that probably aren't going to play in the next couple weeks at least, and it may be well beyond that. This team's got to try to stay healthy. As you said, the depth isn't great. And what's such a killer about Russell, not only is he one of my favorite guys on the team, we just love the personality. He's just such a hard-nosed football player. But you and Coach have talked so much about it. You don't have a lot of veteran leadership. He provides some of what little you have. I don't want to see a lot of games without him out there playing and at least bringing the right energy in the huddle.
No, you've only got 12 seniors on this team, and you take away the guy that is one of the unquestioned leaders on the squad and certainly a guy that is playing hard right now for this football team. The thing you take forward, and at this point you're sitting at 0-4, so you're kind of grasping at positives. Owen McCown. You saw Jordan Tyson make some plays today. Anthony Hankerson came in. He looks like he's going to be an exciting young running back. There is some youth out there, and at this point you wonder if you just kind of start riding those guys and continue to build for the future.
Yeah, because it is what it is right now, right? It is what it is. You're in the Pac-12 play now. This is still a very tough conference for you to compete in, and you got to get the young guys their reps, because you know what? The growing pains aren't going to you're not going to grow out of the growing pains with them sitting on the bench. So you've kind of started this thing. It's been by necessity with some of the injuries, so on and so forth, some of the play. They brought a lot of good energy. The young guys brought a new feel to this thing today. It did not feel like an 0-3 team taking the field at the time. You just got to try to feed off that, and hopefully they learn quickly from mistakes. They recognize things for next game.
Not fun for Buff Nation. I understand that you're 0-4 for the first time since 2016. That year, Dan Hawkins in year number 1 ended up going 2-10 and built. Next year, they did go to a bowl game, and of course, things didn't go well after that. But nonetheless, the Buffaloes are on the road now at 0-4 at Arizona next week. Again, 7:30 kickoff, 5:30 with the pregame. We'll have it on the Colorado Football Network. Coming up next, we're going to check in elsewhere in the Colorado Athletic Department.